Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim Schroeder. I am a sales account manager here at ePLAN. I cover the Midwest region. I have been with ePLAN for over 3 years now. It's been an exciting time for me in this world of having new software for electrical schematics. So I'm really excited to be a part of the team. Today on this webcast, I would like to introduce one of my coworkers, Raafat. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you, Kim. So my name is Raafat Almukhtar. I'm an application engineer with ePLAN. I've been here for like 4 years. I do training, consulting, supports, and pre-sales.
So today we want to talk about security in the cloud. This is a very hot subject right now as we move to putting a lot of our storage and projects and things in the cloud. We want to make sure that there is a lot of security happening and that we cannot be compromised while utilizing the cloud services. So Raafat is going to dig into that for us and kind of take it away. Feel free if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. We will answer the questions at the end of the presentation.
So our topic today is the security in the cloud with eSTOCK and eMANAGE. So this is just the introduction, and this is going to be our agenda. So first topic is going to be the ePLAN cloud strategy. So why we are developing the cloud strategy here in ePLAN. So the first reason is that because we focus on our customers. We support our customers in all their progress through their job, like their project. So we provide them with the proper tools for different stages of the project. So we want to make sure that they have the best tools that they need. So the second topic is we concentrate on data. We focus on data. So whether it's a project data or component data, we want to make sure that this data is available for all of our customers in one centralized location to keep it consistent, and also not only during the project stage, but even after the fact, like after the project delivery for maintenance and services. And finally, because ePLAN, we care about the future, we want to make sure that we are future ready and future proof. So we want to keep supporting the on-premise product, and at the same time make the cloud solution available for all those users who are ready to embrace that solution. So what are the cloud strategy here when we use our cloud services? So we are utilizing the Microsoft Azure cloud. It's a public cloud solution, and the reason why, because it's available all the time, always about 24/7. It's secured. They have the Pioneer team in the field to keep the data secure for all its users and keep its availability. And on top of that, we can have a user management setup for ePLAN, so they can assign the right privilege to the different users, can assign them, revoke them whenever they want, and depend on the process of the project. So all that being said, that's all going to be a lot of time saving, since all these products are and services are in the cloud and provided by ePLAN, and there is no need for hefty IT setup and management to achieve all that. Now, the second topic is going to be ePLAN cloud, the ePLAN cloud security. I know whenever we talk about the cloud, the first question will come into our mind: will my data be secured? So ePLAN operates extensive measures to secure its cloud environment, so including end-to-end encryption, multi-factor authentication, platform monitoring, sophisticated backup strategy, safeguard customer data. A team of highly qualified security engineers work 24/7 on securing the cloud and make sure the data are available. So the customer data is stored following the highest security standard and compliance with the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. For that reason, we have established our Trust Center, which is a website, part of our website that actually shows all the certifications that we have obtained. So let me open website. So ePlan Trust Center can be accessed by going to eplan.com and then click on Trust Center. Here you can see all the certifications that we have obtained from independent agencies. The security, our security measures, all the details that can be found here, what we do with cookies, with third parties. And all you need is just to sign in with an account, and then you can download those certificates and read all the details about the measures that we take to secure our data. And again, at the end, if you still have any questions, feel free to contact us, and we'll gladly provide you with all the information needed. So that was about security. Now we'll talk about eMANAGE. What is eMANAGE? So eMANAGE, it's a tool that allows our customer to share project security purely in the cloud. So you can have folder structure, and you can put your project in a folder, folder structured setup. And this makes the accessing the project easy. So it can be uploaded directly from the product from ePlan itself, or using just a web browser. And you have just sign into your account, and then you can upload it. You can also securely collaborate with different people based on project stages, and at the same time give them only limited access to what you need them to have access to. And on top of all that, we have the eVIEW integration, which allows you to view the project and redline it or greenline it and send it back to the designer. Now, we have two types of eMANAGE. There is the paid version and the free version. So the basic version will allow you to have access to 100 gigabytes per company organization. That's how much you can have of data, and you can store your project and share them internally and externally with stakeholders. Also, you can access the eMANAGE using the app, or the software directly, or using different browser. Now, when it comes to the paid version, definitely there are more interesting things that you can get there. So on top of sharing projects, you can share data like the master data of your ePlan software. You can share PDF, Excel, Word files. You can export the project to older versions. I know ePlan users this is going to be very interesting for them, because ePlan is specific about its version. So when it's a version 23, it's only 23. When 22, only 22. So within ePlan paid eMANAGE paid version, you can export up to 2.7 version, so that you can work on the latest version, at the same time satisfy your customer requirements if they need to work on older versions. So all that can be accessed with the eMANAGE paid version. And on top of the 100 gigabytes, you will get 10 extra gigabytes per license every time you have an extra seat of the eMANAGE. So how eMANAGE works? So you upload your project from ePlan directly to the cloud using the tool, or you can use it through the browser. Then you set up your permissions and set who access what, and you can even set the time limit if you want it to be time limited. Then they can see the project in eVIEW, redline it, and then send it back for the designer to adhere to those comments. Of course, all these steps, you will get notified. The users will get notified. The stakeholders will be notified about what exactly is happening. Let's take a test drive here with the tool. So I have set up my local ePlan installation for my admin kind of account. And then I presume that I have a user that I want to share my content with. And for that, I set up, or I'm using actually a virtual machine for my trainer account. So the white background is going to be my admin, and the black background is going to be the user. The first thing I will open my eMANAGE in my software, So here under the ePLAN cloud, there is eMANAGE. You open eMANAGE. Okay. Here I can see in my organization, I have eMANAGE paid version. Okay, and in the paid version, I have access to the master data and also, of course, the projects. The projects can be just being there in the main root of your data location, or you can have them into folders. So I can create folders. Let's say ESS sample. That's our normal project name for the ePLAN software sample. So I'm just going to create a folder, and then I can, move things around. So I can move this project and put it there, and now it's under that project. Okay, and you can also open the project and see the content. If you have some documentation, some PDF files, you can view them here. You can download them. So it depends on, of course, if you have the license. I'm the admin here, so I have the access, and I can download and do whatever I want with this data. The project I'm going to work with a lot in this webcast is the webcast demo project. I've already uploaded it to save time, but normally you just select the project from your installation, your ePLAN product, and then you click upload, and then it will back it up and upload it to the cloud. Once the project in the cloud, you can see all the options. So I have the options to open it in different versions if I wanted to by downloading ZW1 file, or open it in my current installation. Now I already have it open, so I don't need to do that. I can publish to eVIEW, or if it's not published, my project's already been published. I publish it just to save time for not to wait for the publishing process. But I can open it in eVIEW and look at the project details. So now in the project details, I can see what I have in the project information and what I can do with it, what I can share, whom I can share it with. So if I click on the share button, I can see the list of internal users that I have. Those are the part of my current organization, and I can share the project with them. Now you see, most of them are admins, so the admins by default, they have the access. But Roger, for example, does not have the access. I can assign access to that user. Now, first, what I will do is I want to share my project with with my trainer account without inviting that account to my organization as an external user. So sharing to external users is very limited. So you can share the project status. Like there is a project. This is the where it was created. This is when it was last accessed, and you can also give another level of access, which is the download of the backup. So we can test both of that. So I'm gonna copy the email that I have for my trainer account. Okay. Prior to that, I'm gonna bring in my trainer account, and I'm going to open. I'm gonna look at my ePLAN cloud. Now, at the moment, I'm not part of that organization. My organization is ePLAN USA Consulting, and my trainer is a different organization. So if I log in my cloud account, I can see that this is a different organization. So it's a trainer organization, USTRA Almukhtar. That's my last name. And obviously, if I open eMANAGE, I don't have anything about webcast right in the moment. If I open eMANAGE, I do have many projects, but none of them are the webcast yet. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite this user to share this project externally. So I'm going to paste that email and add it, and then I can provide some information here about what type of access that this user should have. Is it download the project or just view? And I can set up an expiration date for the access. So I'm just going to hit apply. I'm going to hop on my trainer account, and then I'm going to update my view here. You see here under external, I can see that ePLAN USA Consulting is actually sharing some information with me. And if I open it, I can see, let me make this a bit bigger. I can see that there is a project. It was shared by a specific person with the shared on, last edited, and the permission type is just view. So I just only see that there is a project. So just to prove your customer that you're working on the project, there's something in the progress that happened in the background. There is no any action that can be done. If I go and assign another set of privilege, so I would say download, then in this case, the user will be able to download the project as a ZW1 file. So it's not going to be possible to view anything in the cloud, but just you can download the entire project. So if it gets updated, to update again. You see now I have actions, and if I click on it, it's going to start downloading the project for me, and I can view the project. I don't want to do this right now. I'm going to keep it like that. So it's possible that you can give access to external users without the need to add them to your organization. Now, the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that user. I'm going to remove it as an external. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. Just need to make this bigger. Remove that user as an external. Okay, and I'm going to add this user to my my organization, my ePLAN USA consulting organization. So I'm going to open the user management, and I'm just going to get that user. I'm going to add it. So click on add, invite by email, and with the email invite, that user will be listed, and I can give that user a specific access. So I want to give him an eMANAGE access. Okay, eMANAGE free access as a designer. Okay, and also make sure that we have eSTOCK, since we're going to demonstrate eSTOCK. Now, different level of privileges and role can be assigned. If you click on the exclamation mark next to the users, you can open a website. It's going to show us the roles of the users in the organization. So every app will have its own set of rules. So in eMANAGE, for example, we have 4 levels of users, and those users roles have different privileges. So you can assign it at the eMANAGE level, at the app level, and then you can assign a different role in the project itself. So you could have a designer in eMANAGE, but you as an admin, you don't give him a designer privilege, but you give him just a guest or a user or limited view. That's what it's called, and I'll show you in a minute. So the differences are, a guest can barely see almost any information about the project. Users will see some details of the project, will see the content if there are any images. If you're familiar with ePLAN, when you generate a PDF file, normally it gets stored in the project folder. So if you are a user, then you can access that file if it was exported or it was part of the backup into eMANAGE. And then we have the designer. The designer will have all the privileges except assigning or seeing other projects for their organization. So the admin can dictate who can see what projects, so they can isolate different teams if they wanted to. Besides that, they have all other same privileges. And when you look at it, like you have a project level access, you have the folders, what you can see in the folders, and we have the master data and the file itself. So all that can be seen here separately. So beside the role, we have the permissions, and you can see that in the here. I'll bring that up when we get to the second point, when we assign it to the project itself. So those are the possibilities that you can have for your users. Now we see we have this user was added to the organization. Now when I bring in my VM, where I have this user, okay, now I should no longer be seeing him in the external. So if I do an update, okay, so it's no longer in the external, and now I should be able to join that organization. So you see here, I have the ePLAN USA Consulting is inviting the trainer user to join the organization, so I can join that organization. When I join that organization, I can switch to it, and then my apps will be based on my privileges that I have in that organization. So let's have a look there.
Raafat, while you do that, David wanted to know, can external user publish to his own eVIEW?
They can download the ZW1 file and then they can set them up in their own organization. So it's not going to be related to our current organization, but they have their own in that case.
So I know you mentioned there was a time limit where you can open up the project to a user for, let's say, maybe a week's time. Can you give access to a user and then the next day take it away and remove and add users as your will?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did just a minute ago when I invited an external user and then I removed them just like a few minutes later. So you can set up to have the privilege expire automatically, or you can remove it yourself. So all that is possible to be controlled. Okay, now this is the project. And finally, so here's the user, and I can see I can assign for that user different level of access. So view, as I said, is gonna only view the project information, just like how we saw with the external access. Limited edit is when it can see the content of the folder. So if you guys want to have a look at the PDF, if it was part of that project, and then you have the edit access. So it doesn't matter what type of role that user have in the organization. It all comes down to what you assign to him as a level of permission in the project level. So this is at the project itself. So here I'm gonna give that trainer account the edit privilege, and then you should be able to see all the content of the project. So now if I go to eMANAGE, okay, able to see the project. And then from here, you should be able to, again, now the project's already published in eVIEW, so I can view it in eVIEW. I can also open it in the platform. So clicking the download now, it's going to download it here locally into my virtual machine environment and have the project there. I can see, of course, all the contents as I have the edit privilege, and I can even view the project in the cloud. So this can be viewed here locally. I mean, in the software, if you have the project downloaded, if you just want to see it in eVIEW, then you can just click on the eVIEW button. So click on Open in eVIEW. This should open a web browser with the link to the project. Of course, you need to sign in with the same account. So because that's the account that have privilege. If you sign with a different account, then you will not see the project. And also you should join that, like be in the selection of that organization. Okay, so here I can see the project. I can look at the pages. So this is the project, and I can see the pages that I have. I can make some comments about the like, redlining with a note. Say change the bridge, for example, and then I can rename it. This is one size. I'm naming my redlining content. So you can have multiple comments and give them one redlining, or you can have them separate. So it's up to you how you want to implement that. And then once you're done, you can send it for review. I can say, please review ASAP. then the information will be sent to the designer. So I'm the designer. I should get an email saying that I have a new notification. So let me pull that up. You see here, I got an email saying my trainer account have some uh, comments here, and this is a link. If I click on the link, it's going to open the project, and I can see the comment, and of course the project name is there, and I can process the comments accordingly. And also in the platform itself, I should be able to see the comment as well, and I would be notified that there is a comment on the project. And I can see the comment also if I open eVIEW. So let me close this and open eVIEW. Now the project is already published into eVIEW. Opening eVIEW will allow you to open the project in from within the software. So here you see there is number one. That means there is one unread lining. It open. I can see the red linings, and then I can see the where it's located and what's the content. And from here, what I can do, I can apply the changes or I can reject it. And then after that, I can upload a new project, upload the project again and publish it. And then what will happen at that point is you'll get the review, the versions, a different version. So this is going to be take a few minutes if I do it for this project. So I did uploaded a different project and uploaded a couple of variants. So you see here, this project, for example, I have one is as built. That's the original version. And then I have the latest one after the maintenance. So it can have multiple versions into the cloud. Now you can, if you open the project in the website, you can see the older versions schematics. But if you open it locally, you just gonna see the latest, and the comments gonna be from the previous version. I think based on time, that's all what I wanna show about eMANAGE. We do have the master data that we can also share in eMANAGE if you have the paid version, as I explained earlier. So master data can be uploaded by just click upload, and the master data set will upload. Now the master data normally is gigantic, so it's going to take some time to be completed. But then once you have it there, you can also share it with other users, and then those users can download the data. So it's going to be headache-free process, because it's very easy to just click a few buttons and then you download it and you set it up for your environment. You can have multiple set of the directories, and then you just depending on whoever you work with, maybe different suppliers or different customers, you can have different set of directories, and the collaboration in this case is really easy and secure. Okay. So that's all about eMANAGE. I'm going to go back to my presentation, and next topic is going to be eSTOCK. So what is eSTOCK? eSTOCK is another web solution from ePLAN, where users can store their data for the parts in the cloud. The benefits are enormous in this solution. So I know, like the mobile office now has become a very common thing. So a lot of people are suffering from slow connections because they have to VPN to their company. So that's first is costly. Second is a headache. And if they are using it locally, like they store their parts locally, then that means they might not be using the latest data. Also, for customers who have a large scale, they have different sites and different locations. So that means they have to keep 2 separate data instances at the same time. So that will be, additional cost for IT and infrastructure and everything. And also collaboration with external users. Now you have to, download the files, make a backup of them, and upload them to the other users. And once you give that access, it's given. You cannot take it back. So all those pains can be solved with eSTOCK. So let's have a look how the situation is without eSTOCK. So currently, you have the ePLAN installation. definitely you have a Microsoft file server or a general file server where you have stored your master data and you have stored your parts related data. And then you could have an ALK or MDB file, depending on the version you're using, or an SQL server. So the parts are saved on the file server. The user can access it easily because it's on the same network. Now, another user, if in a different location, then you have to VPN to the network. And if the VPN is not reliable, then that's a problem. It's going to cause some troubles in accessing the parts database. Now, with eSTOCK, all this can be eliminated. So the parts in the file server can be removed. SQL server no longer needed for the parts data. Everything's going to be stored in the cloud. So all the users will access the parts in the cloud. What happens is that eSTOCK will create a cache of the eSTOCK of these part files in locally to every user that have access, and then they can use that parts information. And whenever there is a change, the user wants to access the parts management again, the user will be notified that there is a change at some point, and it can have an update for the part database. So this is gonna enormously help some users where they are away from their home network and they have to access the database through VPN, because everything now it's cached automatically and updated automatically from the cloud to the users. So the benefits are work on consistent parts data over many locations. So regardless where you are, you always directed to or pointed to one cloud location for your parts. So this is not so consistent, and also save costs because you don't have to have a hefty bill for the IT infrastructure to make sure everything is set up properly. And also it saves time with collaboration with partners. So once you have assigned a user, can have access to the part database, and once you deny that or you change that or you remove that user, they will use that part database because it's all cached. The cache will be deleted once the permission is revoked. So let's have a look at eSTOCK in the software. So close those and open eSTOCK. Let me close those extra windows. So eSTOCK works in such a way that it's have a unique identifier for every element, and I'm saying element because it's not only parts. So parts comes with a lot of data, comes with cut sheets, with images, with accessory list, whatever you name it. It's endless amount of information that comes with every part. So eSTOCK treats every one of those elements as a unique element, and this is very beneficial because, for example, if you have let's say a couple of parts that's using the same, let's say, cut sheet, and that cut sheet had to be changed, you don't have to go to each part and change change it. You just go to the cut sheet itself and change that cut sheet, and it's automatically going to populate in all the parts that's where it's used. Same thing with accessory list. So accessory list can be used across multiple parts. So when there is a change in the accessory list, like let's say a new accessory was added, you just go and change the accessory, and this is gonna update automatically into the part. Now this is the same technique that happens locally with the installation, but it's not that not the same I would say interface. So you have one big pool of parts. So all the parts are in the database here. So I don't have a lot here. I just put some just because I want to make things just to be clear for the viewers. And to provide access to parts, you need to put them into collections. So collections is a selective set of parts, and you can assign them to not different user, but you can give them access whether it's shared or not. So once you give access to a user to eSTOCK, they can see all the parts and they can see the shared collections. So you can't share a collection with specific user because they already have access to the entire parts database once you're giving them access. So there's no point of denying some users some specific collections. They can share the collections or not. So when I go to collections, I can see that I can share this collection or not share it. So now if I let's say go to my user, the trainer user account, and open my database, okay. I'm using the standard database, and when I try to go and access the eSTOCK, okay, at the moment I don't see any collection. I cannot use eSTOCK at the moment because there is no collection was set up. Now, when I go back to my admin account, okay, and I will allow the user to use the webcast. Now this webcast collection is shared, okay. Now the user is capable of using that collection. It's taking to re-sign in so that the information get updated. Now, you know, this type of changes, like you don't do it every day, like it happens when you need them. So definitely re-sign into the organization will ensure a smooth process. Just gonna sign in into the account again so that I can see the part collection. And you can see how easy it is just to select the parts and then you will have access to it. So I will go to my master data and the settings, and then I will go to stock. Now I can see the webcast collection. And then when I hit OK, it's going to tell me that's going to download the parts. It might overwrite existing parts because if the data is already there, then it might overwrite it. That's completely fine. The same parts will have the same data. Okay. And now when I go to my parts management, I will see the parts that I have from my collection. It might be a second or two slower than the normal parts, but it's not a deal breaker at all. So I can see all the parts here. I can switch to list view, and those are the parts that I have in my collection. Now, when you are even an admin and you're connected to your collection, you can't change information here. The only way to change the information is through the cloud. So to change the part information, you have to open at the cloud browser in the cloud, and then do the changes. So I'm going to go back to my eSTOCK, and here I can if I open it from within the software, I can do the changes as well. So whatever changes I want to do, I can implement it here. It's very easy to add part to your collection. So if you let me close this, I go to my master data. This is my admin account, and I can pick any part, lights or something like that. And if I right click here, I should have an option to upload to eSTOCK. So once I click upload to eSTOCK, I can see the part there, or I can upload the entire thing to eSTOCK. Of course, I'm not going to do that. It's going to take maybe a longer time, but like one part can be bearable. So I'll upload into eSTOCK. You can select if you want to upload it everywhere, like in the parts pool, or you want to create a new collection, or you want to use an existing collection. So let's say we want to put it in the parts pool. So now it's going to upload it. Okay, now one part has been uploaded, and then I should be able to, should have clicked open in eSTOCK. Okay. So I'm using a default connection, so I'm just going to open eSTOCK into the cloud. To sign in with my admin account. And I have eSTOCK here. And this is the same access that you have from within the software. And I should be able to see the new part that I was added. It's marked as a draft because once it's uploaded, you have to release it. So I can look at the part and I can release the part if I'm satisfied with all the information that I have within. So click on release, and the part will be released unless there are some elements that need to be released inside it. So you can click on resolve error, and you need to release those as well, because those are new items that's presented to the database. So as I said, every item here is actually unique. So you need to release those as well. So once you change, let's say this image, if it's used in multiple parts, it's going to be changed across all parts. So release all references. Launch. Then once it's released, I'll be able to assign it to collections so other users can have access to that specific part. While waiting on that, are there any questions? Are there any questions?
No, there's no questions in the chat right now. But I have a question. If you are on version 2022, can you still use eSTOCK? Or do you have to update to version 2023?
No, it's only available with 2023.
Okay.
But now, I think the 3D size was big. That's why it took me a few minutes. Now the elements have been released, and I can now release the part. Now the parts has successfully been released. I can see the part now without any notifications or any marks. So that means the part is available for me to be used, and I can select that part now and then assign it to a collection. So I can assign it to a new collection, or I can move that to an existing collection. So if I select the part here, this part, and I can search collections, and I can just put it into the webcast, for example. Now this part is part of the webcast collection. Next time I'm opening that part database. So now if I open the parts database, you see now it's saying new data is available. Do you want to update this data? I would say yes. And now I should be able to see the light cabinet that's part of the database here. So this is the light. You can see it here. It's populated. So you see how the collaboration is done seamlessly and securely in the cloud without much headache. The changes that want to be done, the adding, the removing is done seamlessly with the cloud access. You can do any changes like how you normally do it with the platform. So like, you know, accessing, for example, the variants, creating new variants, accessing the function template. I know EPLAN users are familiar with the function template. You can modify it from here. Macros, so you can upload macros to the cloud. So here we have the 3D macro. You can also open it and view it. Now you cannot like edit the macro in the cloud, but you can view it. You can upload a different one, so you can change data and then upload a new version if there is a change, and that's gonna update that macro wherever it's used, not only that part, but it's as I said, it's gonna be dealt with as an element. See, it's part of the documents. So I'm updating this document. That means the content will be revised in all parts. This is very useful function, especially when you have a large amount of parts, because sometimes you do a change and that change applies to hundreds of parts. So you don't have to go through all those parts and change them. You just change the element itself, and it's going to be updated throughout all the content. First, you can also add properties. Like here, we can add description to the macro. Now, for the part itself, there is much more properties that can be added. You look at it, so all the properties that's available in the parts database normally, it's also available here and can be added and modified. Of course, cut sheets and hyperlinks are not exception. Also, they can be accessed from here and be updated as well. think that's all what I wanted to show. I think we are almost right on time. Are there any questions or anyone have any query about what we demonstrated so far?
I don't have any questions coming in the chat. I think it was an excellent overview of both eMANAGE and how it works with eVIEW and eSTOCK. I did have one question. With eMANAGE, is it possible to share portions of the project with a user, maybe broken up by schematic pages if you just wanted to share some portions of the project, or would you just download the PDF, break it up and share the pages you wish to?
At the moment, that's not an available feature, but I'm definitely sure at some point of time, this will be one of the things that can be implemented also in the cloud. It's a work in progress. It's always developing, so definitely new features will be added that as we progress through the evolution of the tool. But at the moment, it's you have to share the entire project.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it's definitely very useful, and eSTOCK, I believe, is a definite game changer for, I know a lot of my customers who do struggle with latency issues on VPN and things like that, and working remotely. So
Yeah,
excited for that.
the nice feature is it's just gonna create a cache of the parts database, and anytime if there is a change, it's just gonna update that specific portion of whatever was changed, and that's it. So it doesn't have to re-download the whole thing. So that's very useful for those who have huge data, because downloading and updating takes time. So there's gonna be a lot of time saving here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, excellent. Raafat, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All the attendees. If there's any other questions, feel free to toss them in the chat. If not, we appreciate you joining us, and reach out if you think of something later to either Raafat or myself. We will provide our emails in the chat for everyone.